I'm one of the experts in this country in diabetic foot ulcers, and here is my grandfather combating the complications of type 2 diabetes, and I'm completely helpless to do anything for him. I've trained for 20 years, and I can do nothing to host an intervention. I was originally born in Newfoundland. I had two very supportive parents who felt that as a little girl, I could be whoever I wanted to be, and that wasn't limited by my gender or where I was from. I remember going to school one year in grade 1. I went as a doctor, and everyone thought I was a nurse. And I said, no, I have my prescription pad and my pills in this bag. I'm going to be a doctor. During my residency, my grandfather was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. People who have diabetes, a simple wrinkle in their sock or a change of their shoe type can lead to a blister. That blister can lead to an ulcer or a wound, and if it doesn't heal, can lead to an amputation. My grandfather stubbed his toe about 3 or 4 years ago that led to a wound. At that time, we had there's no way for me to practice in Newfoundland, no opportunity for me to help him move through the system there other than give my mom some advice. I'm one of the experts in this country in diabetic foot ulcers, and here is my grandfather combating the complications of type 2 diabetes, and I'm completely helpless to do anything for him. I'm trying to make a diagnosis and trying to help him keep his leg, knowing that my expertise is not available to him. And that's where the idea for MIMOSA came from.
My goal has always been to bring technology into medicine and improve the way we practice medicine through technology. I was looking at screening for stroke and heart attack. We developed a test where we would take an MRI picture of you, and 90% of the people who had this marker that we detected would go on to have a stroke or a heart attack. Really, I thought we'd revolutionize the world. Here we are 8-9 years later, and people are still having these strokes and heart attacks because we developed this technology on a machine that very few people have access to. It really focused me on looking at smaller, more mobile technologies that are more accessible, and we can disseminate this type of information to more readily.
I met General. We had a blind coffee date as two scientists. Within that first coffee, I realized that General had a solution to the problem that I was facing.
Meeting Karen gave me this hallelujah moment that there was an indication where what we found in MRI that was detecting strokes and heart attacks was the same marker that she was using to predict wound progression and injury progression.
3 coffees later, we had a plan on how we were going to scale these technologies to make them about the size of your palm, how we were going to fix the algorithms so that it could do it properly, not just in a hospital environment, but in a patient environment. And 18 months later, we have a device that's going to be commercially available. The MIMOSA device is unique because it's a near-infrared camera, what's called near-infrared spectroscopy. Near-infrared light is light that passes into the tissue. It bounces off certain structures within the skin and comes back. And as it comes back, whatever it's bounced off of in the tissue creates a spectral signature, essentially the fingerprint for the molecules that are in the skin.
What that allows us to do then is use some math to figure out what color that underlying object is. Different molecules in that near-infrared space have different colors, and the molecules that we're looking for have a very specific color signature that we can tease out using these different colors of near-infrared lights.
It's a certain combination of molecules that, if present, means your tissue will heal, and a certain pattern means the tissue will not heal.
We're really on the cusp of that sort of landslide moment where medical imaging will tell us what's going to happen to you in the future.
Currently in this space, all we have in terms of technology is a paper ruler to measure wound size over time. And it could be days and months before you actually know if your interventions are working or not. MIMOSA is the only group that's measuring tissue physiology, as well as that signature molecule that predicts outcome and is able to make a device for the consumer.
It's not just a bunch of engineers sitting in a room trying to come up with hammers for nails that don't exist. We know what the nail is, and we've got someone eagerly waiting for that hammer.
We're able to take something from a huge piece of technology to this small device. I could make an impact, a global impact. That's why I get up in the morning. That's why I stay up late at night. And it brings me back to, when I was a child and I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor so I could help people, but I wanted to help lots of people. Here I am.